Good morning, warriors. I am filming from my vacation in North Carolina with my boys, and it's kind of ironic because my topic today has to do with owning your own BS and bullshit and seeing where you're making up stories in your life. And a place where I used to make up stories in my life is that I was too busy. And this morning we have several things that we want to do on our relaxed vacation, and I wanted to record this video, and I was thinking, oh, okay, I'll do it, but I better wait for my hair to dry and blah blah blah. And I'm like, you can do it with your hair soaking wet and just off the beach, and that's what life is all about. And back to my old thought that you have all the time in the world to get done what you need to get done, and to sort of loosen my hold on how things have to look and perfectionist and all that, and how much freedom it's brought me over my life. And so that's where I'm going with this video. And so with my wet hair and fresh off the beach, I will dive into my blog this week, which has to do with owning your own BS. Mine specifically being that, no, Susie, you're not too busy. Really, you're not. How do I know that? Because I used to be too busy, and one day I chose a different thought, and I haven't been too busy since. True story. It's been several months since I've stopped being too busy, and my life is significantly different. Calmer, clearer, less frantic. Why? Did I get rid of my 3 kids? My job, my house, and my responsibilities? Nope. But I did get rid of using busy as an excuse. I changed the way I looked and the way I thought about things. I decided I was sick and tired of feeling stressed and overwhelmed. As the magnificent thought coach that I am, I know my feeling stressed or overwhelmed comes from my thoughts. So when I feel stressed or overwhelmed, it's because of the thoughts that I'm thinking. I looked into my brain, and I discovered that the thought that was creating my stress was the thought, I'm too busy, or I don't have enough time, or I have too much to do. When I thought those thoughts, I felt anxiety in my chest, and I just was not a great time. At the time, this was not a shock for me to understand that those thoughts created anxiety or overwhelm or stress, because I believed that I was too busy, that I did have too much to do, and I didn't have enough time to do it all. After all, I had spent my entire life filling my days full and fuller. There were lots of good reasons for my busyness, but none of them served me. As a teenager, I had the perfectionist thing going on. The busier I was, the more I got done, the closer I was to being that perfect daughter for my parents. Well, you know how that turned out. Big chuckle. I went from that quest into early adulthood, thinking that if I worked hard enough, that if I got married and had the house, the kids, a dog even, then I'd be happy. Nope. My busyness at that point served several purposes: to distract me from a failing marriage, and to look for external validation that I was a good mom. I mean, if I was making their lunches, signing them up for their correct sports, and tri-folding their clothes, I was a good mom, right? No. After my divorce, I still filled my days full. Why? Partly because that's what I had always done, and that's what my brain was used to doing, but partly because a long-held belief that in order to make it, I had to be busy, busy, busy. Yet, how was I defining making it? What was my success? What did success look like for me? Externally, I was there. I was healthy, and I had removed my kids and myself from an unhealthy situation, and I loved my work. However, internally, I was consistently feeling stressed and overwhelmed. What was going on? Insert two of my favorite quotes. One by Garrett J. White: "The thinking that got you to where you are is not the thinking that will get you out." The other quote is by Einstein that talks about, if we want to change, we have to choose different thoughts than the thoughts that got us to where we are. You can't create change with the same thoughts that got you into the problems where you are now. I stepped back to realize that my thoughts of being too busy were not serving me. I decided I was no longer going to use being busy as an excuse, or tell myself that I'm too busy. In March of this last year, I actually drew a line in the sand and committed to my mental health, and said that from that day forward, instead of saying I was too busy, I would say I have more than enough time to get done what I need to get done. I started consistently scheduling my days and consciously choosing how I would fill them. I changed my mindset from I'm too busy for that to I have more than enough time. A scarcity mindset does not create an abundant life. And I wanted an abundant life. I felt that I had an abundant life with work, with my family, with my personal romantic life, and I wanted to feel that way in my feelings. And I know my thoughts create my feelings. The energy we put out in this world comes back to us. If I'm rushed, frantic, and overwhelmed, I attract that to me into my life. If I'm calm, relaxed, and deliberate, I attract that into my world. Are my days today any less full? No. But in changing my mindset and using tools discussed in last week's blog, I've structured my life so that my days are easier. Easier on my nervous system for sure, but also easier on me, easier on my partner, easier on my kids. The only chance I had to make was the choice to choose something new for my life, to choose to create a different future with different thoughts. Next week, I'll write more of how we can't create a future life based on our past, but for this week, ask yourself, where are you on autopilot in your life? Where are you allowing old thoughts and old beliefs to run your life? What is your BS that you aren't owning up to? My BS was saying I'm too busy and believing that. I'm not too busy. I have more than enough time to get done what I need to get done, even wet hair, with wet hair, okay? So figure out what you're telling yourself. Do you tell yourself you don't have enough money? Do you tell yourself you don't have enough time? Do you tell yourself you don't, what is it that your marriage is good enough? You'll be happy when? Just dig in. Give yourself the gift of pausing for a second or many seconds, figuring out what's going on. What is that reoccurring thing you keep telling yourself? And then asking yourself, do you want to keep going with that? How do you want your next 6 months to be, year? I cannot believe it's only been since March that I changed this thought. My life has changed so dramatically. It's not from the outside world you've been able to see it, but my inner reality is so completely different. My stress and overwhelm are almost non-existent. When I feel them now, I'm like, oh, okay, what thought are you thinking, Susie? But I don't say I'm too busy anymore. It's a wonderful feeling. So I would like that for you. Dig into yourself, see where you feel anything that you don't want to feel. Think about which thoughts are getting you to feel that way, and let's go, warriors. Bye.